So, more leads from Google VLAs even in 2026? Are you kidding me? I thought VLAs were a thing of the past. I thought it was about AEO and AIO and all this different stuff. Are VLAs still working? Well, I think so. Guys, what's going on? David Feldman-Makrias, representing Digital Difference Makers, back with you. And guess what? VLAs still work, but we have to be smarter about how we use them, just like anything, right? There's still a premier ad placement in the most dominant search engine to this day. Are things changing? ChatGPT, Gemini? Yes, there's a bunch of things happening that way. However, if we can do VLAs a little bit differently and test different things, they still lead to improved results. And I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about right now. So let's get into it. All right, so check this out. More leads from Google VLAs in 2026, specifically for testing different segmentations. I have a few slides for you. And honestly, this was just taken a few minutes ago. It's very recent. Today is March 10th. So I was looking at results from the 1st through the 9th compared to February 1st through the 9th. And I was looking at a BMW store, okay? Going back and forth with the store point of contact. Their budget pace is a little bit high. And he asked a really good question. Why is our pace a little bit higher? So here's one thing to note. When we look at cost, right, 1st to the 9th compared to February 1st to the 9th, we see this right here, 56.78. We're actually up 22%. In our campaigns, our overall account is up 10%. How come we spent more money, right? Where did we spend it? Well, the first thing we do is figure out where we spent more money. And the best way to do that, at least my favorite way, is to come actually inside the Google Ads dashboard, because that's where we live. Even to this day, we separate the cost column out because we have this comparison here, but we separate the cost column out and then we expand it so we can see the difference between March 1st through 9th to February 1st through 9th. Then what I'm going to do is I am going to filter by change in descending. Why? Because then I get a list of campaigns from top to bottom in order of what spent more. So I can see that actually this Mercedes model Conquest spent more. Well, that's a new campaign, and we're conquesting a different brand. Typically, the average cost per click is higher. Fine. But I want to actually take a look at these two guys, the X1 VLA and the X5 VLA. Notice that in February, we went from $63 in the X1 VLA to $336 in the X1 VLA in March. On the X5 VLA, we went from $55 to $270. We spent a significant amount more, but look at our average cost per click. It actually shot up. $1.90 went up 181%. $4.61 in the X1, that went up 170%. Why is that happening? Why is it a good thing? Well, we're using some feed segmentation technology to essentially ensure that the vehicles that are getting the action in X1 and X5 are vehicles that are not necessarily the most popular. Let me do that one more time. We're forcing Google to show the X1s that don't really get a lot of eyeballs. We're forcing Google to show the X5s that don't get a lot of eyeballs on VLAs. So when we do that, our average cost gets higher because we're limiting Google's ability to show the stuff to show the X1s and X5s in the VLA segment that it wants to show, and instead we're forcing it to show what we want. Why do we do that? Well, the thought behind it is we want more exposure on the cars that don't naturally get more exposure. Google VLAs is still not by default in a price ascending order. Do you get better visibility when you have a better price than your competition? Yes. Do you get better visibility when you have a better vehicle with more attractive features for a better, more effective price? Yes. But that's not always the case. And we need to showcase inventory that maybe has been sitting around for too long, right? So this is one of the ways we're doing VLAs differently, or VAs, whatever you want to call them now, differently. So we're forcing Google to show that. Well, yeah, our average cost went up, and maybe we're not getting as many clicks. But we need to see how many leads we're getting. All right, so that's great, right? Because, well, we're forcing Google to show the vehicles that we want in the VLA segment, X1 and X5 specifically. And our average cost has gone up because of it. So Google's effectively charging us more because we're serving the vehicles that we want, more limited. Now, is that actually leading to more opportunities? I mean, what's the point if it doesn't help lead to opportunities to sell more cars, right? So this is a snapshot. You probably have seen this pivot table or a similar style like this if you've been watching any of this channel's videos. This is a custom consultative report that we pull from this CRM, being Vin Solutions, to be able to help us identify if we're trending in the right direction with our changes, right? And it's basically a good lead report. We can do this out of any automotive CRM. We just find that automotive CRMs really don't do a good job as far as giving us data to compare to make changes so that we know if we're doing a good job or not. So, with this being said, we're looking at new vehicles only. I'm looking at BMWs only, and specifically only X1s. So we can't necessarily control all the lead sources, but we do influence dealer website. Dealer website is, again, our website. We're driving people over there, right? So what do we see? Month to date on X1s, we have 6. Compared to last year, we had 2, and even last month we had 2. So we didn't make this change last month. This is actually pretty new to March. So this tells me our changes, even though our X1 VLA average cost per click has increased, our changes, showing a little bit of a conversion increase as well, are leading and influencing more dealer website leads. Do we see the same for X5? Well, great question, audience. Let's look. Here's our X5, vehicle of interest, same store, same date range, same format, a lot of different lead sources here, but we're going to go right to dealer website. And what do we find? March 1 through 9, 13 good leads from the website, 6 last year at this time, and 6 last month. Not bad. So this tells me that we are correctly influencing the good leads and good opportunities to sell more BMWs, okay? And we're doing that through segments of VLAs, focusing on serving in the VLA segmentation at Google Search, or really Google Shopping. We're forcing the vehicles that don't get a lot of action to be up there. And yeah, it's costing us more average cost per click-wise, but we're getting more good leads out of it, and we can tell instantly. So, is it worth it? Do we really know what's going to sell the car? The salespeople sell the car, and the store sells the car. But can we use this data to help give us more insight on how our marketing is actually influencing real opportunities in real time? Yes, and you just saw it here. So, with that being said, VLAs still work. They're still important, and because everybody's on them doesn't mean everybody's doing the right thing with them. So, in order to make them work even better, we have to get a little more granular, and that's the cutting edge that my team and the rest of the difference makers do on a daily basis. If you're interested in this, and if you want your store to see better results using VLAs, Google Ads, Meta Ads, content, video, and a whole bunch of other things, because we're expanding pretty quickly, let me know in the comments. We'll see you soon. David Feldman-Makrias. Bye.